Hi there, it's Gillian here from Rustic Journals. Thank you for joining me on today's video. I've come on to do another flip through of a journal I've just finished. So I hope you enjoy the flip through. So it's just a cover from an old book, a vintage book, and it was so pretty and in good condition. I didn't really want to, cover up this bit. So I've just popped some lace down the spine to keep it strong. And that's pretty much all I've done to the cover. And then the inside cover here, I made this masterboard out of old vintage stamps. So I cut off a bit of it to make the pocket for this. It is, by the way, just an eclectic kind of vintage themed journal. A bit like the last one that I made actually. And we've just got a full library card in here and a label this book belongs to. Okay, and then we've got some of the this trim down here. I thought it matched well with the cover of the book. And I've popped on a safety pin with some little beads. You can't really see the red beads very well actually. But yeah, that's that. And I've done a lot of stitching around the edges here. This is just a paper bag, and I've popped some book page, some Amazon packaging paper, a bit of lace, and then this faux photograph here. And inside we have a journal card backed onto some digital paper there. And then this is a genuine cigarette card, vintage. This was actually cut out of the, those plastic covers you get over books. I cut that off of there, so it is a shiny kind of thing, but she's so cute and she just fitted well into this book. And then we've got a pocket here with another journal card. And this here is a wallpaper sample that I've used, and I've just folded it over to make a tuck spot, popped some crocheted lace down there. And then we've got one of these tri-fold tags that pop in there for journaling on. Another of these Will's cigarette cards. Some lace and stitching on that bit. I like in this book how all the pages are different sizes. I don't often do that. Vintage wildflower book page. And then this is just coffee dyed paper that I've stitched round, folded it over a bit and popped on a bit of washi tape there. And this is vintage book page with some crocheted lace down the edge. And I've just glued this on this side of the book page so that there's some journaling space there. And this is some greaseproof paper. This is one of Tina's digitals from Shabby Dabby Doodah. And that's the middle. I've just kept that plain for journaling. And here we've got clipped on a doily journal card, or it could be glued into the book as a tuck spot, either or. And here I've just used this frame with some coffee dyed paper in it so that that can be journaled on there. And I've popped on some of these little fabric flower things there. And we've got some cute little envelopes with some tickets inside, and I've only glued them on the 3 sides so you can pop something in the back there as well. And the same here. This ticket was one of the ones that I made on video a while back. And I've just popped the tab up here on this one. And there we've got some vintage scrap from those scrapbook things that you got, with some cheesecloth behind there. And that's the other side of the paper bag. And this is just a faux invoice. And I've distressed it and whatnot just to make it look more realistic. So that's the end of the first signature. There is only 2 signatures in this book. They're not really as big as the journals that I normally make, you know, the size of this cover. And this is vellum with script on it. It's just a pocket with a little tag. In fact, I think I made this things on camera as well. Pockets with doilies. And this is a pocket with vellum that I made, and I've just stitched on some netting stuff and a vintage button there. And inside we've got a faux Polaroid, and there's journaling space on the back there. This is just stenciling here. You could journal over the top of this as well, or add your own photographs or bits and pieces, whatever. And same on here. And this envelope is glued down again on 3 sides, so you can tuck something in the back there. I've just popped in this tag, and I've glued some fabric on there, bluebells. And inside the envelope, I've just used a scrap bit of the vellum that had the script on it, just to make it look like there was a little letter in the envelope. And then here I've used some gesso and some texture paste here. And then we've got this envelope that flips out like this. Oh, you can hear my dog barking there. This was off a vintage doily. I just snipped the flower bit off. And inside here we've got another faux invoice. Things never go back in easily when you're filming, do they? And then I've glued this lace down here just to give a bit more strength to the flap bit, because behind here we've got a pocket with this journal card and crocheted lace, vintage crocheted lace down the edge there. I thought that lace just added to the decoration of the page popping out like that. Lots of journaling space, and this is just a bit of washi that I've popped on there. Some washi stickers here, and vintage music. And this is the middle of the last signature, and I've just folded up the music to make 2 pockets there. And then we've got this journal card in there, and this is just some vintage dictionary page with a washi sticker popped on there. And here we've got some Tim Holtz ephemera. And again, I've just popped gesso on there so it can be journaled on, and added a little bit of lace there and a tab. And again, I've covered this side up just so that there's some room for journaling there as well. And a little, oops, throwing it away. Just a little tag with a old-fashioned type hat stamp that I've put on there. This was from a fabric sample that I had. I just made it into a pocket, stitched around the edges and popped on this label, and then I've put some of those little brads in there to make it look like this is a real whatever you call those things, book plates. And this was from an old book that I had. It looks like it's a real photo, but it's not. And then that's that wildflower book that I had. Covered this up again so there's journal space there. And that's the end of the book. So just another short flip through there again, but I hope you've enjoyed looking through that one with me. It is listed in my Etsy shop already. I'll put the link in the description below if you would like to have a look at that. All right, enjoy the rest of your day, everyone. Take care now. Bye-bye.